Welcome back to SnowRunner, guys, and today it is a beautiful morning out here on the TNB Trails map, the recently updated TNB Trails map, by the way, and we're out here giving Lime's OBS a little bit of a break from heavy-duty work with the flatbed, and I've decided to go ahead and load our Can-Am Outlander onto the back and take it out for some adventures. Now, what's really cool about a setup like this is that we basically have a fully built work truck, a flatbed quad cab work truck that can also double as a weekend rig when you load your four-wheeler onto the back. Now, this four-wheeler is set up with a lift kit as well as some bigger tires, and what we're going to do is we're going to try and find some semi-realistic trails and see what kind of fun situations we can get ourselves into with that four-wheeler. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and fire up our OBS and we'll get out to the trails. It sounds so good. It really does sound amazing. And also, the retexture out here on TNB Trails looks wonderful as well. And that sky that you can see still early in the morning, it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. I gotta be careful taking off in this thing, though, because even though I have the weighted bumper on the front, I've got the built engine tune in this thing, and even with the stock transmission, it's got some mad torque off the line, so it still does pull the front axle off the ground every so often. So I think we're gonna get up here to the main road, and we're gonna check and then make a quick right. Now, if you notice, the map is a lot more green, it's a lot more summery looking, and that's because the creator Pixel Monkey really did go through and do a full retexture on this map, and that retexture came out absolutely freaking beautiful. Now, let me know in the comments section down below what you would be loading up onto the flatbed of this OBS for your own summer weekend adventure out in the middle of the woods. So let's make our way up here just a little bit further and see if we can find a good spot to unload our four-wheeler. Now, there's a good trail system right here. There's also another really good trail system over here, but I want to find one that's really good for the four-wheeler itself. Now, there's also the racetrack down in this area, but we're not necessarily focusing super hard on racing in this video. We're focusing, like I said before, a little bit more on that realistic adventure aspect and that realistic trail riding aspect with the four-wheeler. So let's make a little bit more of a run up to the bridge. And when you get up to the bridge, you actually have a kind of an unloading area as well as a trail that kind of goes down into a ravine and then forks. So what we can do is we can make our way up to this unloading area. The only thing about this unloading area is the fact that there isn't really anywhere to back the truck up to in order to unload it. So you do have to find a spot where you can kind of angle things so that the four-wheeler doesn't completely wind up upside down when you unload it. So we're gonna actually back down in here, and I'm gonna see if I can get the back of the flatbed near the ground, and then we can unload the four-wheeler that way. So that should be close enough, or at least roughly close enough. We'll go ahead and shut you down right there, and then we'll unpack, change trucks to the Outlander or the Lander 1000, and here's hoping that this is close enough. Basically, it's fine. Don't worry about it. I mean, we're not upside down, so I'm gonna consider that a win. Now, setting off onto the trails on the Lander 1000. Now, the last time we were out here on the trails on a four-wheeler, it was on the Renegade with mud tires. Now, this is a lot more of a realistic trail riding setup, whereas that was definitely more of a mudding setup. And the mudding setup did well, of course, in the mud, but there were some other areas where the mudding setup kind of struggled, and I think this thing, with its more trail-oriented setup, is going to do a lot better in kind of a varied type of environment. So we're going to make our way down this approach road, and the approach road really isn't all that bad. There's some loose rocks, but you can really go around all of them. I mean, this thing is plenty small enough to where it's not any kind of an issue whatsoever. We got kind of like a little bit of a bridge out there, although that bridge is very bent, very twisted, and kind of jank. So let's see where we can go from here. Now, there should be a way to get down into the... Okay, so we could turn right, left, and then left again, and then follow that down sort of towards where the racetrack is. Now, you guys can, of course, try out this trail system yourself on PC or console, because the map TNB Trails is available in both places. And, whoa! What the heck? Okay, that's not where I was gonna turn left. Yeah, I needed to pay a little bit more close attention to where I was turning left, apparently. All right, let's get you up the hill now, and we'll make our way down to the left again. I'll tell you, this section of trail isn't really all that difficult at all, but the consequences for going over the edge are very high indeed. Although, man, do you get some beautiful views out here. You get some absolutely gorgeous views. And with this summer retexture, this map looks absolutely amazing. I mean, look at the greenery out there in the distance with the waterfalls, the trees, all the greenery along the cliff lines, and like it's really, really beautiful. Not that it wasn't beautiful before, of course, but like this thing, I mean, it really refreshes the map and brings it into a whole new realm. All right, so I think that was where I was planning on turning left, but like, I don't know if that's going to get me closer to... Well, we got some obstacles down there. I'm in for that. Let's go. Oh, that's steep. That's a steep turn. If I had turned any faster, I definitely would have rolled over on my side. I want to find some mud as well. Whoa! That was sketchy. That was actually more than sketchy. That was very sketchy. I want to find some mud. I want to find some rocks. We've about found them, but like not fully. It's like we've about found them, but not really. All right, making your way up over that crest. There's some rocky obstacles down there. Oh, we got some water too. Muddy water at that. Whoa. All right. Actually, the biggest thing is going to be not tipping over down here, because we've got rocks and mud and water. So like a whole bunch of hazards all culminating into one little section. So far, no winches have been necessary, though, which is great. Absolutely amazing that there has been no need for... Well, I say that, and then I use the winch. Yeah, broke that streak real quick. All right, come on. Give you a little bit of a winch pull. Not that it needs it, but it definitely helps encourage that traction. Come on. Oh, nice and easy. Well, that rock is... That rock's a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. You really have to retrain your brain when you're wheeling on one of these four-wheelers, because... all the obstacles that you're used to not being very big when you're in a truck become a lot bigger all of a sudden when you're on a four-wheeler. Oh, geez. Oh, geez. I was getting into a little bit of a weird situation there with grip. Because, like, the front tire wanted to go up on that rock in front of me, but the rear tire also wanted to go up on the other rock, and that about turned me over. And I know that I'm technically going, like, down this obstacle instead of up it, but... it's, like, still just as challenging as ever. Let me tell you, it is just as challenging as... Whoa! And sometimes the tires will get caught, and, like, you have to adjust the position of the four-wheeler, like, with the winch. And there's no shame in that whatsoever. Come on. Yo, you're almost out. Low minus. Come on, dude. Okay, there we go. We found it. Throw it in low plus. Dig in and go. Wow, this ground's actually really soft going up the hill. Look how soft that was until you almost get to the top of the hill. Dang. That's pretty wild. Our gauges are freaking covered in mud now. Although I'm not really surprised that they're covered in mud. I mean, I'm just like, whoa. All right, this should lead into some interesting areas. Oh, this is so cool. This actually leads just about up to where the main racetrack is. Yo, that's so sick. Oh, that was a bit of a jump. That was a little bit more airtime than I bargained for on that one. I'm going to go ahead and just put that right out there in the open. I got to tell you, though, this thing freaking drifts. Like, look at this. It actually, like, you could do legitimate donuts in this thing. I love it. Look at that. Dude, he's, like, completely leaned over to the side. You could do, like, actual freaking donuts on this Outlander. That's so cool. That's amazing. I would be doing this for way too long. Way too long. What if I lock it in high? Oh, it's actually not as good at it. It's not as good at the donuts if you lock it in high, which is hilarious. Whoa! But you really can, like, if you find a open, like, you know, just patch of dirt, you could sling this thing around, like, in circles like crazy. All right, let's take you into some mud trails now. Oh my God, that was a very abrupt dig. I don't know if we're gonna make it out of that one. Yo, something's not happy in there. All right, I am definitely pulling cable on that one because I think my tire has glitched. I think. The only thing is, the only winch point that you can use is on the front. So if you're not winching from the front, you better be ready. Come on. Yeah, my front tires are in the freaking ground. There we go. I don't know what the heck happened there, but the physics decided they were not of this planet anymore. It's still ripping, though. I mean, and this trail is, like, super rutted up. And that's the other thing about it is, like, ruts on trails that you would normally think, like, in a truck, you'd be like, oh, that's no big deal at all. Suddenly, they become a much bigger deal when you're on a four-wheeler. Because if you flip over, you're stuck. Like, in a lot of these situations, if you flip over, that's it. Like, you're done. You're over with. Come on. Unless, of course, you have trees nearby. Which, in that case, I mean, you're a lot better off. But, man, it's sketchy, though. Ooh. It certainly brings a new dynamic of challenge, though, to going trail riding, because if you do it on a four-wheeler, God, look at the amount of banking on that corner on the racetrack. You don't really realize how banked those corners are until you see it from the side like that. It's definitely got this weird thing where it buries the front end in the ground. And I don't know if that's just like something to do with these specific tires or the design of the four-wheeler itself or the suspension or what, but like it's not even that it's a problem, it's just something that you have to watch out for, and it certainly adds to the dynamic of challenge. But man, I will say though, you guys have got to take this thing for a rip on some trails and experience it for yourselves, because driving it around trails like this is actually really rewarding, unless it pulls you into the ground like that. I don't know what that was. Once again, I think it was a little bit of a physics glitch, but it is super rewarding, and it also allows you to see trails that you may have seen before in a completely different way, like a genuinely completely different way. Oh, easy. Because even sections like that are like ultra sketch sometimes if you don't do them right. But either way, guys, hope y'all enjoyed this trail ride in the Lander 1000 or the Can-Am Outlander, whichever you prefer to call it. And if you are new around here, make sure to let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Hit that like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys next time.